Welcome back, everybody, to the Creativ Rise podcast. We are so thankful you're here. So
very thankful.
Whether you are riding a bike, whether you're riding a one wheel, whether you are sitting on your couch, or you are on the subway.
If you're riding a one wheel listening to this,
you're here.
That's awesome.
Don't fall off.
I want a one wheel so bad. They're so fun.
He really does.
Welcome back.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I've been on Facebook Marketplace.
Looking
Man,
for one
you want to know a business idea that we have not talked about? You can hustle Facebook Marketplace.
If you want to hear of a black hole, listen to Joey talk about
Christy
his
and
new
I
business on Facebook
have done
Marketplace.
well. Let me say we've done well on Facebook Marketplace.
We are sitting on something right now that is probably going to do well on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, we bought
very
this
soon.
new, but this couch will do well on Facebook Marketplace one day. Anyways, to get into it, welcome back to the show. So exciting. We're in an exciting time of life for Creativ Rise. Exciting time of business, if you will, getting to run this community because we're just about to launch our Creativ Rise Mastermind,
Woo-woo.
which is so exciting. Launching on September 19th, launching on September 17th for application for the waitlist. So basically the only people that are going to get in are waitlisters. So if you're not on the waitlist, get on the waitlist. You know how to get on. You can text us 916-587-6417. Just text us the word waitlist or go to our link in our bio, click the text us button. Or just go to creativrise.com and let me tell you, you won't be able to not see the waitlist button. It's everywhere. But we're so excited because we're about to launch that. That's one of our favorite freaking things we ever do because it just helps so many people so deeply. And that's why Creativ Rise exists, to build a world where more creatives succeed at doing what they love. So we're pumped about it. But happy September to you. Happy.
It's my birthday month.
It is Christy's birthday month.
And in honor, we are launching the mastermind.
In her honor, everyone can send Christy a gift.
Don't send me a gift. Just sign up for the mastermind. A gift for yourself.
A gift for yourself. Yeah, gift yourself by gifting Christy. Okay, so here's the controlling idea for today. We're talking all about the fact that you can successfully transition your business. You can transition from a wedding photographer to a full-time commercial photographer. You can transition from a influencer who only gets paid to post on your account to transitioning to a brand photographer that never actually has to post on their feed because the client wants your art, not your influence. You can transition from a brand photographer and become a full-time graphic designer. You can transition into whatever you want.
Yep.
We're huge believers in you can transition your business even when it feels like you can't. Now, why do we think that? Well, because I've done it. I've transitioned so many times. I used to be the extreme sports filmmaker. That was my thing. That's what I grew my business as when I started out. Filming pro skiers and snowboarders and wakeboarders and this and traveling all over the world filming extreme sports. Then I transitioned into like the brand photographer. I remember there was a time in my life where I was like, why would you take a photo when you can take a video? That's so stupid. Well, all of a sudden I became a professional photographer like 3 years later. I literally only used to shoot video. It was like this awesome time of my life. You should just shoot a video like every day, edit it, be producing stuff for clients. And I was like, screw photos. Anyways, the point of the story is I transitioned heavily into I became a professional photographer. Then I was like, I want to go back to doing more video stuff. So I built a team around video and we did both. Then I transitioned into running in more agency style, helping people build marketing campaigns and just handling distribution for the content we were making.
Yeah.
Then I transitioned into more things. Then I transitioned into more things. Then I transitioned into more things. Point of the story is I've transitioned. You've had some transitions too.
Oh yeah. I was in only the wedding space for
Huge wedding
long
girl.
Time.
Big wedding girl.
Big wedding girl.
Big wedding girl.
Hadn't had my own wedding, but I was a big wedding girl.
No, you hadn't had your own wedding.
And
you were at thousands of weddings, though.
Yes, I really was. And I was doing that. And as you know, if you are in the wedding space, that is like a tight niche. Like you are in that and you are only in that. And I didn't want to only be in that. So I transitioned into doing weddings and shooting brands. And it was
I would say
awesome.
You transitioned before that, too. You transitioned from I shoot weddings to, I now shoot kick butt weddings all over the world. You transitioned into becoming
that was what was on the website.
Yeah. No, but you went from I shoot local weddings.
Yes.
And then you blew that up. And then you were like, no, I basically will only shoot your wedding if you're going to take me to like Nicaragua or Mexico or like Greece or something. Like you then went into like, you still shot some local weddings, but you became like the like adventure wedding elopement girl.
Yes.
So
definitely.
that was another transition. And then you transitioned now into, you're shooting tons of brands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're sitting listening to this podcast drinking a LaCroix, that's one of Christy's favorite clients of hers.
They are one of my favorite clients.
And like, that's a huge brand. How the heck, some of the biggest people I know that work in the brand space that have met Christy go, how the heck did you work with LaCroix? No one gets to work with LaCroix. That's been said multiple times. So kudos to you because you transitioned into that and you did a really good job of doing that.
Thanks.
Point of the story is we've transitioned and we believe you can too. How's that for an intro?
And we know you want to. You know you want to.
So here's the question. Well, the question we want you guys to ask is, what is possible for your life if you could transition your business?
Yeah.
What is possible for your joy if you could transition your business? What's possible for your income if you could transition your business? A transition doesn't always have to mean a pay cut.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
So what would your life be like if you had the tools to successfully transition into doing what you love? That's a question we want you guys to be asking today as you listen to the show. We're going to teach you how to do that a little bit, and we're excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
but the problem is,
there's a huge problem. Most creatives will never transition.
No.
Because they don't transition, they end up just like spoiling themselves completely.
And you might be wondering, how do you guys know this? How did you know that in my brain? Well, I took a poll on Instagram, and
just the other day.
The results to me were mind-boggling, but
mind-blowing.
But they actually weren't that surprising because I've been in this place, you've been in this place. We've coached over 100 people who've been in a very similar place, where I was basically asking the question, do you have a business idea or a transition idea in your mind? Like, you're running a business.
Yes
great.
Or no?
Yes or no. And 70% of the people said, yes, I have something that I just really want to try. And I'm just so excited about. 70% of the people said, yep, I've got a new creative business idea. But 60% of those people said that they were afraid to pursue it because they don't know how to be successful in it. They probably most likely.
If you're in the 10% that's down to pursue it, kudos to you. But most people said no. Most
people were going, I don't know how to be successful in this, so I'm really afraid to pursue it. And unfortunately, most of those people will never pursue it.
No.
They will never pursue a transition.
The fact they won't ever pursue it is going to cause a few issues. So when you're unable to shift out of what you're currently doing, when you really, really want to transition, you feel so trapped. Being trapped is not a great feeling.
No.
I don't know very many people that are like, dude, put me in a room and like lock me in there and don't feed me or something.
You would get hangry.
I get so hangry. Point of the story is, it's not a good feeling to be trapped.
No.
When you are trapped in your business, when you go through an extensive season of feeling trapped in your business, a couple things happen. You begin to resent your business. You begin to not enjoy what you do, which leads to burnout. Ultimately, you stop wanting to grow your business, take on new clients, and produce more results for your clients because you're not passionate about it anymore. All of these things compound, and you can click the big old fat D button for all the above. You probably lose your business. By the way, I always did all the above on multiple choice things when I used to guess.
Hey, that's what most of the
answers
answers are.
All the above is most of the answers. So in this situation, all the above is the right answer. All of these things happen to you when you cannot navigate a transition, so you don't do it.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing is that most creatives don't want to accept this reality. They don't want to accept the reality that a transition might actually be necessary. And what's so funny is I feel like we talk to so many creatives about this, and it's almost like they come in guilty. They come in guilty of, oh, okay, so I've been shooting weddings for a really long time, and you know what? Like, it's been great, but like, I'm kind of interested in brands. They sound as so guilty.
Like, don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone that I actually.
Don't tell anyone that I've been doing the same thing for 6 years and I've never had a weekend, but I kind of want to have some kids and like slow down. So I want to change, but don't tell anybody.
Yes. Or I've been running like social media accounts, and honestly, I've just figured out that I hate it.
Yeah, I'm tired of running somebody else's socials. I want to run my own stuff and build my own brands instead of building everybody else's. That's totally normal.
And
or I'm tired of shooting products. I want to shoot people.
Yeah.
I know people And this has actually been my experience a little bit. I never shot people. I only shot like, I guess athletes are people, but I shot like athletes where it was more focused on shooting like the sport. And I shot products. I shot brands. Here's a tent. Go to Iceland. Go shoot it. I have had so much fun learning to shoot people with you because Christy's the queen of shooting people. And so like, you don't have to be shy about like your ambition to want to try something new because there's so much joy there. So much joy.
Well,
there.
and you know what I've realized is that most of you guys listening who feel this is actually very normal. This is a very normal feeling to have because you're wired creatively. And if you're wired like Joey and I, you also get bored kind of easily. So if you're doing the same thing Groundhog Day over and over and over again, except that this is actually how you're wired and that you staying in something that no longer is creatively fulfilling, it's no longer giving you the momentum to want to build your business, it's time to either transition out or add something new in to restoke that fire.
Yeah.
Because if you lose that fire, you ultimately lose your business.
Totally. Which sucks.
Which is not fun. Not fun at all. So here is what you need to do. If you want to stop ignoring the fact that you're done shooting weddings, if you want to stop ignoring the fact that you're done doing whatever you're doing and wanting to transition
shooting
into something
brands,
else.
Like I want to shoot people.
And you've got that nagging thing, that nagging idea that you think, ooh, if I could just grasp onto this and do it, I just know my life would be different in such a great way. We are going to give you some steps.
3 things you have to do.
3 things
any transition needs to go well.
Yep.
And we've watched it. We've done it. First things first. We've done it with these 3 things. That's why it's worked. And we've watched so many people in our mastermind transition. We've watched so many people just in our other close circles of friends transition. Man, we've got some cool friends who have transitioned in some really, really cool stuff. Yeah. This stuff works. So
it's our favorite thing to watch. So the first thing, number 1.
It's like a bird who's stuck in a cage, like being free again. So we love watching
Joey's just building this anticipation.
Yeah.
Number 1, what you got to do, first things first, is find a guide. Find a guide. Do whatever you can to get in proximity to somebody or a community or both.
Proximity is the key word.
That is going to guide you.
Draw close.
Guide you to where you want to be going. And I remember I did this when I first launched my business. And this key of finding a guide, I think, is the start of any time you want to pursue any new venture. Any new venture.
Absolutely.
I was first starting my business. I was so gung-ho, just like probably you were, so gung-ho on learning. I actually was like, I'm only going to give myself 6 months to make this a full-time business.
She was pretty cutthroat with herself. She's like, I'm going to give myself 6 months or I'm going to say no to myself.
I literally was like, I'm at 6 months. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to go get like a corporate job at a financial advisor firm. Like that's what I'm going to do.
Christy actually took law and used to work at a law firm. So like she's transitioned. Let me make that clear.
If you want to figure out somebody who's been transitioning a lot of jobs, it's me. So I gave myself 6 months and I literally within the first probably month of that, I was like buying plane tickets to go down to San Diego to get in a room with somebody that I really looked up to. I actually spent thousands of dollars.
We still talk about how much you spent on this and it's like shocking.
It is shocking. I spent thousands of dollars to go to like a remote workshop on basically the border of Washington and Canada out in the middle of absolutely nowhere where I knew nobody going except for I had seen on Instagram a couple of these people that were teaching at it. I spent thousands of dollars to go and get guides, get in proximity to people who were doing what I wanted to be doing.
Who were going where you wanted to go. That's the greatest thing about a guide. Pick a guide who's going where you want to go.
Yeah.
Right? Having a guide who like did something 10 years ago is still beneficial, but like try and find somebody who's relevant, who's like leading creative communities, who's leading creative change, who's leading
in their own
businesses.
Yeah.
Jump into proximity with those people and watch how your business just goes freaking boom.
Yeah. Because I think one of the things that we talk a lot about things that can kill your business, and a lot of those things are negative. But honestly, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I think that one of the things that honestly kills people's potential in their business is success. People get successful at one area of their business and they think, I no longer need any help. Like, I no longer need a guide. I'm good on my own. I'm just going to do this. If I was successful in my wedding industry, I'm just going to laterally move over to brand. And of course I'm going to be successful when that just isn't the case. You have to go back to the mindset of I need a guide. I need someone who's been there, done that, and is doing that to help lead me.
Follow in the footsteps of people that are doing it. I need them to, How do you get a guide? Just quickly. Because you may be going, I want a guide, but I don't know how to like get somebody's attention. I don't know how to get them to like want to coach me or, So one way, pay them. That's a great way.
Yep.
That's a very simple way. That's kind of how the world works. Second way, if you don't want to pay them, offer them some kind of value exchange, right? I remember the first time that I ever got connected with like a really big deal guide, like a really, really big deal person who was crushing it, still crushes it. So highly respect him and his wife. I actually did a value exchange because I didn't even have really the money to spend in order to even get like an ounce of his time. So I had to pinpoint a few things that I knew he was going to anticipate struggling with, and I offered ways that I could help him do that.
That's good.
And he was like, great, let me guide you. You help me with that, I got you on this. And it was world-changing for me. So get a guide by giving them money, which is a form of value. It has to be a value exchange. But if you can't pay them money, find a way to pay them in some other way.
Yeah.
Find a way to get, pique their curiosity. Hey, you're going to have this problem, and I know I can help you this way. Let me help you with that. So important. That's how you actually get a guide. Once you find a guide, you got to get the guide. You got to lock down the guide.
Yeah.
Put a ring on the guide. Don't actually put a ring on the guide.
Marry the guide.
But I mean, like, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Commit to the guide. Number 2, out of 3, we said there's 3 steps. Number 2 is really important. Once you found the guide, you found somebody that you want to follow in their footsteps. In order to transition in your business, you have to get so clear on what are the new problems that I see that I want to transition into solving. You cannot just go, hey, I'm a wedding photographer and I want to be a brand photographer, jump ship and assume to start, raking in business until you fully understand the problems that exist in the brand world and you understand why brands would ever actually hire you to solve a problem for them.
This happens all the time.
So much.
People are like, oh, I want to shoot brands because it's so fulfilling for me and like hire me because I just want to do this so badly and it's so much fun.
I want to get paid to go down to San Diego and shoot.
I want to get paid to travel and blah, blah, blah. And they never identify a problem.
No. So you have to, in order to transition and do any transition well, you have to get familiar with the problems that are on the other side of what you're trying to transition to. And then you have to create solutions before you move there. So what does this look like? This looks like, again, I'll use the example. If you're in the wedding space and you're wanting to jump into shooting brands, you've got to go and get some data on why would a brand ever hire a creative?
Yeah.
What problems does the brand have that I might be able to solve? Get so familiar with those problems. And then you've got to be able to combat those as solutions. The amount of times that I ask a creative, hey, like, what are the solutions you offer? They're like, photography.
Photography.
That's a service. That's not a solution.
Yeah.
A solution is connecting the brand to the world through like a set of photo or imagery that represents exactly how that brand is going to help change somebody's lifestyle. Maybe that's a really easy one. If you're talking about brand photography, right? That is a solution because you can then walk up to the company and say, hey, I now understand that you have a problem. You have to be consistent online. You have great content already. That's also another really big thing. So many people think you can't pitch a brand that has great content. I think the brands that already have great content, if you want to get into being a brand photographer, are the best brands to pitch because they have a status quo of what they need to meet. They have criteria they need to meet, and they need consistency.
They're obviously hiring someone to do their
Consistency is
photos.
the hardest thing. So you can hit up this brand and say, hey, I love your brand. I love your products. You guys have such great stuff going on. I bet you a constant conversation inside of your internal company is going, man, how do we make sure we have enough content for next month? Mm-hmm. Boom, you identified a problem. Boom, great problem. You can then say, I want to meet with you, go over a content calendar that's going to help fill your content calendar. And then I'm going to take you through a little bit of a discovery phase to really learn about the type of photos or videos or whatever it's going to be that you want to be represented in. And we're going to pair that with products. I'm going to take a step back, create those for you. I'm going to hand you the solution of a full content calendar for your next month. Mm-hmm. How's that sound? Oh my gosh. Brand rep is going to be like, this is great, man. Let's have coffee. Let's talk about it. Rather than just jumping from weddings into brands, I mean, like, oh, I'm going to shoot brands. Hey, I'm a wedding photographer who's really good at skin tones. You should give me your products and I'll shoot them for you.
Yeah.
That's a totally different thing. So in order to transition well in your business, whether it's from weddings to brand or it's from brand to weddings, there's problems in the wedding industry that you solve as a wedding photographer. You got to know that. Or you're transitioning from, like I said earlier, like being an influencer who gets paid for their audience. And you're like, I want to get paid to create, not just for my exposure. You've got to get familiar with what the problems that the industry you're shifting into experiences, and then you've got to generate solutions that you can bring into that space.
Yeah. And a great guide should help you find out what those problems are.
Absolutely.
A great guide
should do that. So run your solutions past the guide, right? Once you have your guide, now you come up with the problems and you've got solutions. Run them past the guide.
Yeah.
Super important.
That's
make sure
great.
they're clear and make sure they are, keyword, in demand. You want to know the best part before we move on about doing step 2 really well? If you first identify the problems you see in the market, in the industry you're trying to move into, and then you create solutions for it, you're always going to be in demand. If you go the opposite way, you create a solution and then you just start trying to like throw it at people and hope people are going to pay you for it, you might not be in demand. That's one of the biggest ways that Christy and I see people get burnt out. They're like, no one buys what I'm trying to do. And it's because like, who asked you to do it for them? They're like, I don't know. It's like you didn't first identify the problems that you wanted to solve.
Yeah.
Hence, your solutions have no weight.
Right.
Until you can pair a solution you have in your business, which you're so excited about to deliver to people, until you can pair that solution first with a problem, they have to match. It's the only thing that's going to help you be in demand.
Only time you get permission to solve the problem.
It's the only time you get permission to solve it.
Awesome. So number 1, find a guide. Number 2, figure out what the new problems that you are solving for your clients.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is filter every action you take through the lens of your new direction. Filter every single action you do through the lens of your new direction. Ask yourself daily, what am I doing that is helping push this new service, this new idea, this new business dream forward? What am I doing about it?
Totally. So we got a really good story for you about this, about going, hey, how do I filter my actions through this? A friend of ours named Jeanette.
Oh, she's
great friend
the
of
best.
ours. We love Jeanette. Jeanette, we've
Jeanette's a
talked about
baller.
Jeanette on this podcast before, but Jeanette is so awesome. She's a mom. She's a wife.
She's Canadian.
She's Canadian. Great Toronto girl. But we met Jeanette because she applied, we accepted her, and she joined our 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind a couple rounds ago. And she came in as a photographer that shot events, and she shot some weddings. She kind of just did like a lot of things, and she did them really well. She had a good business. She came into the mastermind within 2 weeks. 2 weeks. She went, guys, I think I've got a problem. I think I want to transition. But she was like so excited. We're like, no, that's not a problem. Go for it.
Don't feel guilty.
You got this. Let's help you. And we helped guide her through that. In 2 weeks of starting the mastermind, she had gone from being a commercial and event and wedding photographer, transitioned fully. Like she just went for it, transitioned fully to running a virtual assistant business because she's like, I really love the kind of like behind the scenes things of running a business and I'm really good at it.
I think this literal conversation was we were talking to her about outsourcing. We're like, hey, so to free up your time, maybe outsource like what do you want to get rid of?
Like your emails?
She's like, no, I love
doing emails. What about the calendar stuff? I love
calendars.
What about like just building out processes and systems? I love that stuff.
That's my favorite part of my business.
You should transition and start a virtual assistant business. So in 2 weeks of starting the mastermind, she transitioned from, again, the wedding photographer, commercial space, event stuff, doing really well, transitioned all the way to starting a VA business, which is a great business to be in right now, actually. Because so many people need virtual assistants. In 2 weeks, we're like, Jeanette, you transitioned 2 days ago. How's it going? She's like, well, I've already signed 3 contracts. I have 5 more on the table that I think I'm going to sign, and I've already started hiring people. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Why was she able to do that? Jeanette was able to do that because after she decided that she was like, hey, step 2 is done. I found the problems I want to solve. It's with virtual assistant stuff and I want to help people, get their time back and be more efficient. She then paired her solutions, and this is where step 3 came in. She did it so well. She then went, I will not do anything that doesn't align with helping me create these solutions and deliver them to the world.
Yeah.
So instead of being like, oh, so I'm transitioning, but I'm still going to kind of like edit some photos and stuff and maybe like talk to some of my old like retainer or event clients or whatever. She was like, nope, I'm jumping full on into this transition and all of my actions are filtered. So what am I going to do today? Well, I think I should do this, and this. Well, does that align with the solutions that I'm moving into this space to create and to give to clients? If yes, awesome. She was like, I'm going to do it. If no, she was like, nope, got to leave that behind. So Jeanette got laser focused on, what do I actually need to do? How can I filter all of my actions so they're very clear and very on brand to what she was trying to transition into? And because of that, in 2 weeks, she signed clients, had a bunch of more people wanting to book her, and started building out a team. Freaking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Jeanette crushed it.
She really did.
Transitions can happen, guys. You can transition your business.
Yep.
It's one of the best examples of a transition we've ever seen. So we want you to have a story like Jeanette.
Yeah, we really do.
We really do. We eagerly want you to have a story like Jeanette. Jeanette's story is unique because it's unique to her, but it doesn't have to be unique in terms of she's the only one that can transition. It'll never happen again. You can absolutely transition. We've seen, again, multiple people transition. We could go on and just talk for 40, 50 minutes on individual stories of people that have even just gone through our program, I keep calling it a program, the mastermind, gone through the mastermind that have transitioned so well. It's mind-blowing. And
it's possible.
It's possible. And it's because, we believe that because, again, at Creativ Rise, we want to build a world where more people succeed at doing what they love.
And sometimes doing what you love, it changes throughout your career.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it changes. Maybe it was weddings.
Change.
Maybe it was doing weddings, and maybe now it's doing something completely different. Maybe it was doing the influencing side of things, and now it's changing to brand, whatever it is. You guys, your story doesn't have to end with what you started with. Your story doesn't have to end with, hey, I had this one service and now I stopped and it's kind of dying off.
You don't have to be the person that we all know. A couple of these people are like, oh yeah, I used to do this. I was a creative doing this for 5 or 6 years. And then it just kind of got boring and I stopped, or it got hard, or the industry changed and I couldn't transition. Yeah. And so I work this job now. You don't have to be like that.
Yep. And don't let yourself get stale. Don't let yourself get to that spot where you are stale and you're jaded and you're burnt out. Catch it at the very beginning. Catch it on I've got a new idea. And Creativ Rise is a place for people with new ideas. We've created this 6-week mastermind for ideas. People who have new ideas, new ambitions, and they want to do it in a community. Because if you're just trying to do it by yourself, a lot of times that stuff just doesn't work out for you, right? That doesn't work out. But we watched over 100 creatives step into this Creativ Rise Mastermind and say, hey, I've got this new thing and let's do it together.
Totally.
Let's get a guide. Let's identify our problems and let's pursue daily what we're going to do to get what we want done to achieve these new ambitions, which is super cool.
Just like Jeanette, she was one of the 100+ people that have gone through this and just launched into what they were doing, which is what the mastermind is exactly designed to do through coaching, community, and accountability. Those 3 things that are core to anybody's growth. Exciting news is that we're launching that again. We're so excited to launch this again. It's going to be unbelievable because this is the 6th or something round we've run this, and it sells out every time because people are like, I need to be in there. I need help transitioning, or I need help just scaling what I'm doing right now. And so we're so excited. It's launching on September 19th, but here's the catch. If you want to be in on that group, if you're sitting here going, man, I want to be like Jeanette. I want to have a story like Jeanette, or I want to have a story like all the other people that have been through this, that have all these crazy stories. We just got a story this morning. Somebody texted us and was like, hey, here's an update on my business. And it freaking blew Christy and I's mind.
Yeah.
His story is phenomenal. We're actually going to try and get him on the podcast. So we don't want to leak his story yet. But
not yet.
There's so many stories, guys. And it does not have to be unique to all these other people, but not you. It can be you. You have to be in the right situation. You have to find a guide. You have to get so crystal clear on your problems and solutions. And then you have to get so clear on how you can actually filter your actions to blow up or transition, whatever you're trying to do. And that's exactly what the mastermind is. So if you're sitting here going, I need that, you've got to get on the wait list. And the reason for that is because it always sells out. And so the wait list actually gets access. I said everyone gets access on September 19th to apply. The wait list gets access on September 17th. Now, why is that important? Because if you're on the wait list, it means we get your application first. It means when we're handing out, tickets to people saying, yes, here's a spot, here's a spot. You're going to be one of the first people to get a response if you're on the wait list.
Yeah.
So you've got to join the wait list.
And we currently have more people on the wait list than we have seats in the mastermind. So what you need to do is you need to text us. You need to text waitlist to 916.
The word waitlist.
The word waitlist to 916-587-6417. Or if that's too complicated, go to our Instagram at Creativ Rise. There's a text us button you can text. It'll auto-populate the number. Wow, technology is so cool. and just write the word waitlist and press send, and you will be signed up for our waitlist. You're going to get all these cool videos.
Just go to creativrise.com if you really want to be simple. www.creativrise.com, and you will not miss the waitlist button. It's everywhere there. So we're so excited to run in this next round. Like,
there is
so
a
excited.
buzz, especially I feel like this time around, there is a buzz happening of people hungry for this, hungry to create a community where they're like, okay, let's charge this
look at
thing.
the years we're coming out of. Like, we're coming out of like 2020, and now 2021 has been very similar to 2020. There's just a lot of like, man, I want more. It kind of feels like the world's stalled, but it's still moving forward. So you got to get in a group of people that are going, who cares what the world's throwing at us right now? We're moving forward. We're doing what we want to do. We're serving people really well. We're growing our businesses. We're then using the growth from our business to do all these other things, fuel all these other aspects of our lives, whether it's giving, whether it's investing. You want to talk about how to set yourself up financially for like 50 years from now. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So exciting.
We talk about all the things in this mastermind that grow your business. We don't talk about, hey, what color should you use for a website, and this is how you edit your photos and lighting.
That stuff doesn't grow your business.
It is all about creative business growth. So if you are interested in growing your business, growing your income, and growing your fulfillment,
systems,
then
tools,
this is for you.
Marketing stuff, brand, sales, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Setting up like a really good website that sells, all of that stuff.
And if you've got questions about this, we love questions.
Text us.
Text us any of your questions. Text waitlist and then text us any question. It's literally Joey and I responding to you. We want to see if this is the right fit for you as well. So if you're like, hey, I'm not sure, like I'm in this industry.
We made an application only to make sure it's going to be the right fit for the people that it's the right fit for.
Yeah. So we can't wait to see you there. We are so excited. Again, we are launching September 19th, but the 17th for the waitlist. Do not miss out. It is going to be a blast.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, thanks for being here, guys. Leave us a 5-star written review. We can't wait to continue to read those. Thanks if you've been writing reviews.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for just being here, whether you're watching on YouTube, IGTV, you're in your car, listening on Apple, Google, Spotify, whatever you're on. We're just grateful you're here. So thanks for being a part of, you listeners are totally a part of the Creativ Rise community. So thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys. And again, we want to continue with you guys in partnership to build a world where more people succeed while doing what they love.
We'll see you next time.